Since SUVs are so popular nowadays, if you're watching this video, there's a very high chance that you want to buy an SUV as your next car. And if you don't really want to stand out in the road, you probably want something a little bit boring. Something like the Seat Ateca. But that got me thinking, Seat, it's originally a Spanish brand, so this car should really be more flamenco than a classic dance. Even the white color really makes it camouflaged in this, blend into this winter wonderland environment where really cars like this belong. But you know what? I like classical, and I like this car. It's basically a Volkswagen Tiguan with the Spanish badge. Personally, I like the German car shapes, even though some people find them boring. Perhaps Seat should really have played with the shapes a bit more, but the Germans are probably keeping them in check. Nein, nein, nein! The interior houses the lovely Audi's, Seat's instruments and rather comfortable seats, which you can optionally wrap in leather. The dashboard is very German, organized and of high quality. The gear shifter has the 4drive logo if your car has all-wheel drive. There are USB connectors provided, and the infotainment system is big and clear, providing lots of functions. There will be enough room in the back for your kids or other passengers. They will have their own air vents and armrests. I took the Ateca here to these snowy hills so we can find out how the all-wheel drive handles and how comfortable the car is on damaged roads. Despite the hard ice and holes, my spine didn't pop out of my neck, while the car didn't show any struggling getting out of snow. And yes, this is not a tough test of its abilities. That's coming shortly. The test model had the 2-liter diesel with 110 kilowatts, which is fairly quiet, has plenty of torque, and is fairly frugal. Now it's time for the bigger test on snow. That is, snowy and icy serpentines. Let's go. If the cameras cooperate. Let me remind you again, steepness of roads always seems milder on video than it is in reality. Inside the car, however, you can quickly start seeing and feeling Volkswagen's DNA. All the buttons are high quality. Everything is where you think would be. There's no, weird designs or you're trying to find out where the stupid buttons are. The manual gearbox is excellent. I love changing gears in this. Ooh, that's a blind corner. And while I'm talking about blind corners and this very snowy and icy road, this car has the 4drive system, which is basically all-wheel drive, very similar to Volkswagen's 4Control. And it's excellent. It doesn't matter how I drive, if I'm driving very slowly, gently, or pressing the pedal to the metal, of course the wheels are going to spin, but I'm not going to drift. I'm not going to go sideways. It's very good. And before you say, all the cars will do this, I can do this in my Fiat 125, no problem at all. Well, let me tell you, I was here in a different car, which only had two-wheel drive and also some sort of off-road system. And there was less snow and ice, and I didn't really get far. In fact, I stopped in the middle and then started, crawling back and going sideways. So that was a little bit scary. But this car, with this system and 4drive, is perfect.
There we go, an excuse to buy an SUV with all-wheel drive. And finally, you can buy a heated front windscreen for defrosting in winter.
So now you've made it to the top of the hill. Yes, victory. But now you have to get back down again. And of course, everything is very snowy, very icy, and very dangerous. You have to be very gentle and careful with your brakes. But nowadays, a lot of cars, the Ateca included, has the hill descent control system, which means I can put it into the hill mode and the hill descent control turns on, which means I can put it into first, let go of the clutch, and not press the brakes or the gas pedal. And what happens is the system is on and the car brakes itself. Each wheel brakes separately, which means that the system is going to try and keep the car going straight or where I want it to without drifting. And we're going about 9 kilometers per hour and everything is safe. So you're going to get down slowly but safely.
What's the saying? Slowly, slowly, catchy monkey. Or, if you'd rather catch it faster, you can buy the 140 kilowatt diesel.
An SUV, but it has to also be practical, which means a big boot. And of course, if your hands are full with luggage or other things and you can't really reach for the button to open the boot, well, you've got a convenient access via the, foot pedal or virtual foot pedal system. So you simply put your foot down here, the sensor, should detect you, and open the boot. But it does have this equipment. I'm going to check the manual because I'm sure this should work. To open the boot, when the car is equipped with the keyless access system, which this car does, well, that's what I'm doing. Just move your foot under the sensor. That's what I'm doing. I've got a better idea. I think I figured it out now. It works. Of course it does. There we go. Practical.
While we're talking about practicality, this is how the electric towing hook works, which you can also stow back after usage. The base model of Seat Ateca can be yours for 19,500 euros, while the fully equipped one will increase this price to over 47,000 euros. You know, I really like this car.